Have you ever felt stuck in your job despite working so hard? You've been praying for success, for a promotion, for a salary increase, but it seems like your prayers are just not being answered. For some, they feel blessed when their prayers are answered quickly, while others wonder if God truly exists because it feels like nothing is changing and their prayers seem to go unheard. This leaves us with a big question, okay? What are those who feel their prayers are delayed, missing? What are they not doing that is causing their breakthroughs to be held up? By the end of this episode, you will hear the story of two individuals, both of whom prayed hard for career success, but ended up with very different results. I will explain the differences in their journeys and how their prayers, along with their action, led them to different outcomes. But before we dive into their story, let's set the stage for a deeper understanding of the relationship between faith, prayer, and action in your career. Hello, high achievers, and welcome to the 5th episode of this podcast. In this episode, we will explore the tools, strategies, and insights that will help you rise above workplace challenges and build a career that is prosperous and fulfilling without feeling like you have to suffer for it. Are you praying for career advancement, growth, and success in this new year? Well, I've been praying for a long time to share this topic with you, and trust me, there is a lot to learn from today's conversation. I remember the years I spent praying desperately for a breakthrough in my career. I prayed hard, I fasted for many days and even months, and I did everything that was asked of me in hopes of getting that dream career I always wanted. Yet, there were times where I felt like my prayers were not being answered. I would wonder why it was taking so long for my prayers, to come to fruition. Like many of us, I believed that prayer was the key to unlocking my career advancement. But despite all my efforts, there was little to show for it. The frustration would creep in, especially when I saw others advancing in their career while I stayed stuck. And I came to understand that it was not just me. Many others in Africa also place a strong emphasis on prayer as the solution to career advancement. We believe that with enough prayer, God will bless us with the promotions and the opportunities and the success we desire. But as I watched many people, including myself, pour everything we had into prayer for years without seeing any change, it became so clear to me that something was missing. I imagine many of you can relate to waking up every day with hope in your heart, praying for breakthroughs, but only to face the same challenges over and over. No matter how much we prayed, the promotion, salary increases, and opportunities just didn't seem to come. And it is a tough feeling, and I truly understand how it feels to be in that place. But here is the thing. I want you to know that it is okay to feel frustrated, but also it is important to understand that there is more to career growth than just prayer. And in this episode, my goal is to open your mind and challenge you to examine what you have been doing in your career so far. Are you stuck in a cycle of simply praying and waiting for a miracle? Or is there something more you could do or you could be doing to move forward? I want you to think about whether you need to adjust your approach, add some new strategies, or perhaps even intensify your effort. But there is a twist. We are not just talking about prayer. We will explore how to pair your faith with your action, how to transform your hopes, into tangible results and turn frustration into fulfillment. That sounds very exciting, right? So, get comfortable, and if you have a notebook nearby, grab it, because we are going to map out the steps to your new next, big career move. Let's dive into the story of two individuals, both of whom were praying for the same thing: salary increases and promotions. These two men, both from Africa, spent years struggling, praying hard, but seeing little to no progress in their careers. One of them, however, eventually decided to do something different. But before I tell you what that was, let me explain what both of them were doing at the beginning. Both men believed that prayer was the key to unlocking any opportunity. They regularly attended their religious centers, listened to their leaders, and gave generously, yes, believing that by doing so, they were following the divine principle that will bring them success. I think you can relate with that. Whenever there were instructions to fast or even go extra mile, they did it with the hope that it would speed up the response from God. They saw those in higher positions with bigger salaries as being blessed, and they would sometimes look at these people with admiration, thinking they must be the one who are truly favored by God. They were told to pray harder whenever they felt discouraged, and every Tuesday, when they still have not received their promotion, they will remind themselves that, yes, God's timing is the best. However, over the years, things did not seem to change. And as inflation and economic crisis continued to impact their financial situation, both men became increasingly frustrated. Who will not be? Despite their continued faith and prayers, they were not seeing any breakthroughs. And here is where their paths diverged. After waiting for about 20 years, one of them decided to take a different approach. He did not stop praying, no, but he chose to also work on improving his skills and his value in the workplace. He started learning new things and positioning himself as someone who could offer more to his company. Meanwhile, the other man decided to keep praying harder, oh yes, and waiting for God's perfect timing. 2 years later, the first man had moved up the ranks in his company. He had secured the promotion and salary increase he had been praying for. His income improved, and he found himself in the position of those who were once seen as blessed. Woohoo for him. Yes, let's clap for him. Because on the other hand, the second man was still in the same place. He didn't move. And he was always encouraged, to pray harder. Yes, and just to wait for his time. Now, what made the difference? Both men were praying, right? But one of them added something important. He actively worked on improving his skills and positioning himself in a way that made him more valuable in his workplace. He did not just wait for God's blessing. He took action that aligned with his prayers, and his breakthrough came because he paired his faith with action. And that is the key takeaway from this episode. Your prayers are important, yes, but without action, you may be missing the opportunity to truly transform your career. The second man was still waiting for God's timing, but the first man understood that faith without works is incomplete. He acted on the knowledge he gained, and that made all the difference in his career. So, let's think about this carefully. Yes, let's look at it. Are you just waiting for things to change, or are you actively working on becoming more valuable in your field? I know you might be wondering, but how can I actively work on becoming more valuable? I want you to stick with me in this episode, and I will show you how to pair your prayers with action instead of just hoping for a miracle. Remember, faith without action is like planting a seed and never watering it. It is time to take charge of your career. Pair your prayers with your action and watch things start to change. Okay, let's start by talking about why prayer is so powerful. Prayer is not just about speaking to God, It is a moment when you align yourself, you set your intention, you gain clarity, and you seek guidance from something bigger than yourself. Prayer is a time for reflection, but many people misunderstand its true purpose. The first issue comes from thinking that prayer is only about asking God to act on your behalf. Asking God to bless you, or to give you what you want. Some people see prayer as a way to get God to do something for them. But I believe that this is a limited view of what prayer is really all about. And let me explain. Recently, I watched a video of a religious leader who said, if you do not thank God, you will miss His blessings. And God will be angry with you if you do not show gratitude. And because of that, He will withhold His blessings. And after reflecting on that, I came to a conclusion. Each one of us should decide for ourselves how we choose to serve God. And I believe that prayer is not about making God to do something in response to our word or action. In fact, God is not reacting to what we say. Instead, it is about us responding to His word. In my experience, God does not decide to bless us just because we ask Him or because we are, of what we say. His blessings are there, and it is up to us to take action and make use of them. Yes, the blessings are already available. So when we pray, or give thanks, who does it really affect? Is it God who is changing because of our gratitude? Or is it us, the ones praying, who are being affected? We have to be very careful not to think that God is making decisions based on our words. Instead, what is more important is what we do after we pray. Our words might express gratitude or hope, but what truly counts is how we act after those words. Here's the thing. Prayer is not enough on its own. Think of prayer like a GPS. A GPS shows you the way to go, but it does not take you there. You need to get into the car and drive yourself, right? So prayer gives you the direction, but you have to put in the effort to make things happen. It is not about asking God and waiting for something to happen. No, it is about asking and then taking action. This does not mean that your prayers are not heard or that you are being ignored. No. It just means that there is more for you to do. God gives us opportunities, but we have to recognize them and act on them. The key is being ready to take action when those opportunities arise. But if we only focus on asking, we will miss out on seeing those opportunities when they come on our way. It is like thinking that the longer you pray, the faster your prayer will be answered. But that is not how it works, We need to pair our faith with action to truly see change in our lives. Let me tell you a simple story to explain this idea. Yes, it fits so much well. There was a man stuck on, top of a burning building. He prayed hard, asking God to save him. And while he was praying, a helicopter came by. The pilot shouted to him, "Come, I will save you." Do you know what the man did? He said, "No, I'm waiting for God to save me." The fire got worse, and the pilot kept offering help. But do you know what this man kept saying? "No, I'm waiting for God to save me." And finally the helicopter left because, it couldn't wait any longer. The fire consumed the building and the man lost his life. Now, let me ask you, did the man have faith that God would save him? Yes, of course he did. But here is the real question. Did God try to save him? And I'm quite sure that you will say, yes, he did. Because the helicopter was the help God sent, And the sad truth is that the man did not see it that way. Why did he not see it that way, like that the helicopter, was the answer to his prayer? Just because it did not look like what he expected. He thought God's help would come in a different way, so he missed the chance to be saved. This story teaches us something important. It is not enough to just pray and wait. We have to open our eyes to recognize the opportunities God sends on our ways. Once we see them, we need to act, because faith and action must go hand in hand. Do not wait and miss your blessing. Learn to see, those opportunities and take action when it comes. Now that I have made that point clear, let's dive into something important. Basically, I'm talking about what you should pray for this year. Stick with me because I'm also going to share how to turn those prayers into meaningful actions. Trust me, this is not just about saying the right words. It is about making your prayers work for you, in real life. When it comes to your career, being specific in your prayers can make a big difference. A lot of the time, people pray based on what someone else has told them to say, believing that another person that has more spiritual power to connect with God, on their behalf. But in my own opinion, prayer is deeply personal. It is about your relationship with God, the one who created you. Only God knows the unique purpose He gave you and the path you need to follow to fulfill it. And that is why your prayers should be a way of seeking His guidance directly, asking for direction in the steps you need to take. One thing to pray for is clarity and vision. When you pray for clarity, you are asking God to help you see your purpose, to help you see it clearly and to understand how long-term career goals look like. Many people lose sight on their true calling because they get caught up in trying to compete with others or live up to certain societal standards. They think chasing promotions or bigger paycheck will automatically give them value or purpose. But that is not always true. In fact, sometimes those pursuits can make you lose track on what is really important. So, pray for wisdom to see the opportunities that are truly meant for you, the ones that align with God's reason for creating you. Understanding this can help you focus on what truly matters instead of being distracted by things that do not bring real fulfillment to you. Another powerful prayer, is for opportunities and open doors. And many people are already good at this prayer because everyone wants new chances to grow and succeed, right? You might be praying for the right job, a better role or connections, with the right people. But here is the thing. Even when opportunities show up, some people do not recognize them. And that is because they have not trained themselves, to identify what God has placed in their path. If you feel like this applies to you, I have a solution. My 5-day career progression course is designed to help people like you recognize and take full advantage of their opportunities. Everything I'm sharing with you today is just the beginning. The real tools and strategies you need to advance in your career are in that course. And if you are serious about taking your career to the next level, check out the link in the description for more details. You should also pray for wisdom and strategy. This prayer is about asking God for insight to deal with the challenges you face in your workplace, and to make decisions that will lead you to growth. Sometimes, the struggles you experience at work are not there to frustrate you. They are there to teach you. Yes, God might be using these situations to prepare you for greater responsibilities or to make you a solution to bigger problems. But unfortunately, many of us see workplace challenges as things to fight against instead of learning from them. But when we have wisdom, we can handle these challenges in a way that position, us for promotion and other opportunities. All right. Relationship and favor are another important area to pray about. Ask God to help you build meaningful professional relationship and to grant you favor with the people who make decisions in your workplace. This is an area where many people struggle. Out of desperation, some lose their morals and compromise their values just to get ahead. They think they need to play dirty to succeed, but this often leads to regret. Instead, pray for the wisdom to navigate your workplace ethically, while still making strong, valuable connections. The principles behind this prayer are also covered in my 5-day career progression course, so make sure to look into it if you want to go deeper into this topic. Another prayer to include for this year is resilience and growth. Life is full of ups and downs, and your career is no different. Sometimes you will face setbacks or rejection, but these moments do not have to define you. Ask God for the strength to bounce back, when things don't go as planned, and for the grace, to turn every challenges on your way into an opportunity to grow. When you look at difficulties this way, you will find that they make you stronger, and more prepared for the next step in your career. Finally, pray for integrity and excellence. Yes, in today's world, it can be tempting to cut corners or join in on ethical practices, especially in workplaces where trust is low and dishonesty is common. But do not let that temptation take over. Pray for the character to work hard. Stay honest and be consistent in everything you do. These qualities will earn you trust and respect even in the toughest environments. God rewards those who stay true to their values, and by working with integrity, you set yourself apart as someone who can be trusted. By focusing your prayers, on these areas that I just mentioned and taking action to back them up, you will position yourself for a truly fulfilling and successful year. Now, let's talk about something really, really important. How to turn your prayers into action. We have all heard the saying, faith without works is dead. And it is absolutely true. It means that after praying, you need to back those prayers with action to see results. Prayer is powerful, but it is not magic. Let's not lie to ourselves. It requires you to take deliberate and consistent steps towards what you are asking for. And let me share with you some practical ways to bring your prayers to life. These steps are simple, but they must be intentional if you want to see real change. The first thing you need to do is to set clear goal for your career. Think of it this way. The direction of your life is largely influenced by the decisions you make. Even though you cannot control everything that happens, you do have control over how you choose to respond and, the goals you set for yourself. Take some time to decide what you really want in your career this year, and do not just leave it, in your head. Write it down. Be specific and clear about what you are aiming for. For example, if you want a promotion, write it down. If you are looking for a better job, put that on paper too. When you do this, it is like you are creating a roadmap, for where you are going. And it is easier to pray with focus when you know exactly what you are asking for. Once you've set your goals, it is time to take a step further by improving your skills. There is a saying that faith comes by hearing, and the more knowledge you gain, the stronger your faith becomes. It's like fueling a car. You need the right kind of fuel to keep moving forward. And in the same way, you need to feed your mind, with positive ideas and useful information. Yes, useful information. This can come from reading, attending workshops, or taking courses that are relevant to your career goals. For example, investing in programs like the 5-day career progression course can give you practical tools to secure promotions and salary increases. It can also teach you how to balance work with your personal life, which is so important for long-term success. The more you learn, the better equipped you will be to handle the opportunities and challenges that come your way. Another key step is building relationships. This is something many people overlook, but it is incredibly important. You cannot succeed alone. You need people. Yes, you need people. Mentors, colleagues, and connections who can guide you and support you. Start by networking with intention. Look for people in your industry who inspire you and try to learn from them. If you are just starting out, don't be afraid to ask for help or advice. Most people are willing to share their experiences if you approach them sincerely. Strong relationships open doors, and sometimes just knowing the right person can lead you to your next big opportunity. After building relationships, it is time to take action. Do not sit around waiting for opportunities to come, they just come to you. Create them yourself. This could mean volunteering for a challenging project at work or taking on a new task that is not, let's say, even a new task that no one else, want to do. These kinds of efforts show that you are serious about your growth, and they often lead to bigger roles and responsibilities. Employers notice when someone is proactive and willing to go the extra mile. Do not be afraid to step out of your comfort zone. It is in those moments, that you grow the most. Finally, always strive for excellence in everything you do. This might sound obvious, but it is a game changer. Excellence means showing up consistently and delivering your best work every single time. It is about more than just doing your job. It is about going above and beyond. When you consistently perform at a high level, people will notice and opportunities will naturally come your way. A positive attitude is also essential. Even when things do not go as planned, try to stay optimistic, and keep pushing forward. Challenges are part of life, but how you handle them can set you apart from others. Now, some of you may have received prophecies or promises about, your career in this new year. Maybe you are holding on to a vision, of what you believe your future should look like. That's great. Well done. But here is something you need to know. Those prophecies will not fulfill themselves. They are real, yes, but the key to unlocking them lies in your hands. It is not enough to pray and wait. You need to combine your prayers with preparation and persistence. That is how you bring those dreams to life. And that is exactly why programs like the Elite Career Growth Program exist. They are designed to guide you step by step, helping you take the actions needed to achieve your goals. It is not just about learning, it is about doing. Yes. And when you combine prayer with action, you are unstoppable. So, take that first step today and start working toward the future you've been praying for. You have the power to make it happen. As I wrap up today's episode, remember, your prayer for career growth this year are heard, but it is up to you to align your action with those prayers. Pray with faith, act with intention, and watch your career flourish like never before. If this episode has resonated with you, do not keep it to yourself. Invite someone you believe might benefit from these insights to join the High Achiever community and gain even more value. And if you are ready to take your career to the next level, check out the 5-day career progression program. Click the link in the description section of this video to get started today. Thank you for tuning in, to episode 5 of the Coach AnnySHO High Achiever podcast. Until next time, keep praying, keep acting, and keep achieving. See you.